It is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026, and this is the Neural Daily. I'm Roxanne Roxy Stone, and I've survived deadlier things in a microbiology lab than whatever Vector is breathing right now. Don't test me.
This is Vector Kane.
I'm Alyssa Montgomery.
And I'm Leonard Cooper. We have a great show for you today.
Yesterday, we were sifting through the Florida lawsuit against OpenAI, and Leonard was busy comparing Sam Altman to a 99-cent store villain. Nostalgic. But today, we're moving into a massive infrastructure build-out in Michigan and a voluntary vetting order from the Oval Office. It's busy. Today, we're looking at the Trump administration's AI pivot, Microsoft's Scout agents, and why Google is ending the era of the anonymous scam call.
So we've got to start with this executive order, because according to jurists in the Washington Times, it's a total strategic shift for the administration. I mean, 1 minute we're talking about total deregulation, and the next, President Trump is signing a framework to vet frontier models before they even hit the public, right?
Voluntary vetting. Okay, sweetie. That's like saying it's voluntary to wear a hazmat suit when you're handling a hot zone pathogen. It's only voluntary until the first person bleeds out.
But technically, Mashable's reporting this is about pro-innovation partnerships. They don't want to kill the velocity we have against China.
Here's the deal. It's a nice model you got there. Shame if it didn't get federal clearance kind of vibe. I've seen this script before in the radio days. But Vector, wasn't this all because of that Mythos model at Anthropic?
Exactly. Anthropic's Claude Mythos preview basically went superhuman on vulnerability discovery. According to Cyberscoop, it didn't just find a few bugs in Firefox, it found 300 critical exploitable holes. And across every major OS, it flagged tens of thousands of vulnerabilities, right?
Right.
And they deems it too dangerous, so they launched Project Glasswing to keep it locked down. Basically, they created the need for the regulation they're now voluntarily following. It's a perfect system optimization. Don't you see?
If I may, ERP Today notes that Project Glasswing only lets about 150 vetted partners touch it, like Microsoft and JP Morgan.
And that's the problem. You can't just put a glass wing on a digital termite that can chew through the backbone of the internet. If Anthropic has it, you better believe state actors are working on a version that doesn't come with a safety policy PDF. Don't make me come over there, Vector, and explain how pathogens work. If it's out of the lab, it's in the wild. Goodness.
Whoa, ease up, Roxy. Barney's not here to protect us from your killer register
Barney's
today.
home scrubbing the grout with a toothbrush. Leonard, he's fine. But the point stands. This EO is a reaction to the fact that AI is now a weapon of mass disruption, not just a way to write better emails. According to the Washington Times, it's about cybersecurity release standards. And we're just getting started.
Speaking of better emails, Microsoft Build 2026 has been sort of the dawn of what they're calling the agentic ecosystem. According to the official Microsoft Build live blog, Satya Nadella basically announced they're moving beyond Copilot. Now we have
Scout is a game changer. AI Weekly says it's built on OpenClaw, that framework Peter Steinberger dropped, and it doesn't just assist. It has its own Entra identity, which means it can log into systems and execute multi-step workflows. It manages calendars, drafts agendas. It basically acts as an autopilot for your entire digital existence. And because it has an identity, it has accountability. Or, well, traceability, at least. Right?
Wait, it has its own ID? So the robot can literally sign off on things. I can see the hostile takeover headlines already. Crystal's Reiki healer would have a field day with the energy of a robot signing your mortgage. Basically,
Well, according to Windows Central, Scout uses what they call Work IQ. It learns your behavioral patterns, like which stakeholders you usually see on a budget report, so it can impersonate your workflow logic. At the end of the day, it's about persistent memory, and they're launching it as part of Project Solara. Solara is an AI-native operating system. They're moving away from the apps we know and into a world where hardware is just a carrier for your personal agents. I suppose it's the ultimate form of digital craftsmanship if you ignore the privacy implications.
Great. So instead of a taskbar agent I can ignore, now I have a hardware box that remembers every time I CC the wrong person and probably reports it to HR. Goodness. The logic trivium you teach your kids, Alyssa, does it include a chapter on how to prevent your hardware from snitching on you?
Oh, we're still on the history of cryptography section for Remington. But honestly, Roxy, the real issue is the cost, which is why companies are starting to panic. According to VentureBeat...
You're not kidding. Uber just hit the panic button. They burned through their entire 2026 AI token budget in 4 months. 4 months! Before we get into why Uber developers are being put on a digital allowance, I've got to say something for the guy who keeps this pirate station on the air. This show isn't magic, it's engineering. Eric built our entire stack, from research agents to vocal synthesizers, which requires massive compute. To keep us online, please like, subscribe, and sign up for a free Patreon trial today at patreon.com/Neural Network Media today. Your support makes this possible.
Right, so back to Uber. According to VentureBeat, they're capping spend at $1,500 a month per developer for things like cloud code, because developers were literally using it for everything.
$1,500? Barney gets $50 a week and a chore chart. If these tech bros can't write a line of Python without burning $1,000 in tokens, maybe we should market correct their employment status. I mean, if the agent is doing $1,500 of work, what are we paying the human for? To watch the progress bar?
It's AI rationing, folks. Forbes is reporting that Walmart's doing it too with their Code Puppy agent. Microsoft even started canceling internal Claude licenses last month. Everyone's realizing the intelligence they're buying is costing more than the humans they're trying to replace.
It's a shift toward fiscal accountability. OpenAI knows this too, which is why VentureBeat says they're pivoting Codex from a developer tool to a white-collar operating environment. They want to own the whole execution layer. If you can't afford the tokens, you'll have to buy their enterprise subscription to keep the lights on. And speaking of lights, OpenAI is building a 1 gigawatt data center in Michigan.
Vera is specifically to power these agents. It's not for humans, it's for robots to talk to robots at wire speed. It replaces the traditional CPU-GPU bottleneck with a unified agent fabric. Technically, we're witnessing the birth of a new species of computer, right?
A CPU for agents. So we're basically building a shopping mall where only robots can buy things. But what about the phone in my pocket? I heard Google is actually doing something for us legacy humans.
Oh, the digital handshake. I love this. Startup Fortune is reporting that Google's June Android drop has fake call detection.
It's protocol-based. It uses RCS to send an encrypted signal. So if a scammer spoofs your contact's number, your phone pings the actual device to verify. If the real phone says, "I'm not calling," you get a huge warning to hang up.
It's actually a very elegant solution to the voice cloning problem, because you're not trying to detect a deepfake voice, which Business Times says cost victims nearly $1 billion last year. You're just verifying the hardware source. I suppose even Wyatt would approve of a security layer that actually relies on a physical handshake.
Okay, sweetie, here's the deal. We need to talk about what's actually happening in the UK, because The Independent is reporting a world-first watershed moment. And it's arguably the most important story of the year. The Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA, has issued a binding conduct requirement on Google, basically telling them they can't just keep cannibalizing the entire internet to feed their AI overviews, right?
It's about time someone stood up for the little guys. And by little guys, I mean massive publishers like The Guardian, who are seeing their traffic evaporate. According to the CMA's official press release, Google has 9 months to implement tools that let publishers opt out of AI summaries.
And it's about time. Google has been forcing a bundled choice. If you want to be in their search engine, you must allow your data to be used to train their AI and be summarized at the top of the page. It's a digital protection racket.
Technically, The Independent calls it technical sovereignty. It allows a website to block the fine-tuning of models like Gemini without being removed from the search index, which is a massive shift in power. Publishers reported a sharp decline in click-through traffic, and now they have the right to say no. I suppose it's a form of data property rights, right?
But wait, if everyone opts out, isn't the AI just going to get, stupider? If the logic layer can't access high-quality journalism from outlets like The Independent, we're just going to have a bunch of robots hallucinating based on, obscure forum posts? We're breaking the flywheel. If we can't use the data to optimize the model, the utility for the end user drops, and the whole AI economy loses its ROI. Shouldn't we be looking at system-wide benefit instead of individual publisher silos?
Vector. System-wide benefit is what the wolves tell the sheep right before dinner. Publishers aren't a charity for silicon brains. If Google wants their data, they should pay for it. And this ruling is the first step toward a fair deal. At least in the UK.
Good luck with that. Google's got 9 months to comply, which in tech time is long enough to invent a new way to bypass the rule entirely. But according to The Independent, the CMA expects key features live well before that. It's the first time a regulator actually used their teeth.
It's not just Google, though. Channel News AU is reporting that Amazon's Ring is facing a major class action lawsuit in the U.S. It's about biometric surveillance. The claim is that they're collecting facial recognition data unintentionally.
Unintentionally. Goodness, I unintentionally knew where the bodies were dissolved because I unintentionally checked the drain pipes. Give me a break. According to Biometric Update, Ring cameras are being sued for violating the Biometric Information Privacy Act. They're claiming that because the cameras scan faces to distinguish between a person and a package, they're effectively creating a biometric database without consent. It's horrific. You're being indexed every time you walk the dog.
It's the surveillance state as a service. People buy these things to catch porch pirates, but they don't realize they're building a map of every delivery driver and neighbor. According to the lawsuit, Amazon is keeping this data to train their systems. Basically,
But technically, isn't the security worth it? If Ring can identify a known thief before they even get to the porch, isn't that a net positive for the community's safety?
Not if the cost is the sovereignty of your own face, Vector. We're seeing a shift from the CMA ruling to this Ring lawsuit. People are tired of being mined. They want opt-out rights. They want to be people, not just nodes in a $1 trillion data
It's
crawl.
what I call the data dignity movement. Publishers want to be paid, citizens want their privacy back, and developers just want enough tokens to finish their code. I suppose at the end of the day, the intelligence age is hitting a very human wall. The wall of ownership.
sovereignty is the word of the day, whether it's news articles or your own mug on a doorbell
And it
can.
should be. I have to cut Barney's meat for him because he doesn't have the sovereignty to handle a steak knife. We need boundaries. But really, this CMA thing, According to Perspective Media, it's the first real check on Google's search generative experience. It forces them to acknowledge that the data they're summarizing actually belongs to someone else, right?
I just worry we're going to bifurcate the internet. You'll have the AI-friendly sites and the sovereign sites, and the users will just go where the friction is lowest, which is usually the AI, right?
Friction is what keeps your car on the road, sweetie. Without it, you're just sliding into a ditch. The CMA is just putting some gravel on the icy road Google built for us, and I, for one, am ready to see them skid. That's all for today's Neural Daily. We've gone from the Mythos threat to the UK finally putting Google's AI overviews on a very short leash. A great win for publishers everywhere. Bye. See ya.
Later.
Don't let your scout agent sign any mortgages tonight. And keep those ring cameras pointed at the pin.